What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, another answering comments here. I really appreciate you guys leaving comments. I think you guys are leaving even more comments these days because I'm trying to go through with this new format, which everybody has had a positive reaction to or positive response to. So I appreciate the feedback. And yeah, I mean, it's great for me. It's more content that I get to do. I get to interact with you guys rather than just sharing some random thoughts that I have. You guys always ask the best questions and bring a lot of insight in the comments. So this has been a really, really fun development for the channel, and I'm trying to do them more often so that I can catch up. We'll see if that actually ends up happening because I'm hoping to only do it like once a week or maybe twice a week. But at this point, I had like this starting point, and every time I come back, there's just more comments. So you can see here, I'm still 7 days out, and I don't know if we'll ever catch up, but we're going to try our hardest. And like I said, I just appreciate you guys taking the time to leave a comment here. So I'm going to take the time to respond to it, and yeah, let's jump in. So this is from the Dave McCoy chat that I had. TTDD says the example of SPS at $1 listing is just complete delusion. Not gonna lie, with all due respect. Yeah, I mean, again, $1. I don't think that Dave was saying like it's gonna hit $1. It's just that if it goes so high, you would have a lot of people that would burn SPS immediately and take their profit, which, again, I'm worried about that, not necessarily for the same reason that he is worried about it. I don't think that it would happen all of a sudden. I do think that there are a lot of people who would just sell SPS, but at the end of the day, I can understand where he's coming from. In either scenario, we end up with an oversupply of DEC, and that is a legitimate fear, concern. Actually, it's a certainty that I expect, right, for the next bull run. In the same way that we had an oversupply of DEC this past bear market, I think in the next bear market, we will have another oversupply of DEC, and we'll just have to see how bad it is. Hopefully it's not as bad as last time, and we have more players, more products, more demand that drives through that relatively quickly. But again, that all remains to be seen. All right, Compy talking about the same video here. So how can exchange dump the price before the deal is made? Where are they getting the SPS from to dump the price? They don't get any SPS until after the deal is made. Why would everyone sell into DEC? Well, okay, to answer this first part, I mean, I don't think anybody's saying that they're going to dump before the deal is made. I mean, if they get a lot of SPS through the deal, then they have a lot that they could dump later on as part of their profit. But let's see. Why would everyone sell into DEC if SPS pumps? Most people will sell into real stablecoin, BTC or ETH. It makes no sense for everyone to pile in declining price DEC. Well, see, here's the thing. This is what Dave was talking about. He would burn a lot of SPS because he wants to use DEC, right? So for him, a lot of that would get locked up on land. But for people who aren't in land, imagine it this way, right? All of a sudden, SPS pumps up. Now you have to, SPS does a 10x, for example. Now all of a sudden, the SPS that you're holding buys 10 times more Rebellion packs. So you immediately burn it for DEC rather than selling it, and then go redeem that DEC for Rebellion packs. At which point, the team gets half goes to the DAO, but the team then needs to circulate that half back into the marketplace, which means we need to still get through it, right? So I get what he's saying. I don't know. I think he's giving an exaggerated kind of worst case scenario, but I don't think that we would actually hit that. I think it's not going to be one massive spike and it happens. To me, like I said in the previous comment, it's more so that over the next bull run, people are just going to be burning a ton of SPS because it's cheap to do so in terms of how much DEC you can mint. Okay, so Punk with the same video says turning that much SPS into DEC would drive the DEC price way down. I don't think any whale would be stupid enough not to see that. You'd want to sell SPS into buying pressure for SPS. This is assuming it would spike on listing. There's a buttload of other coins on these exchanges. Okay, so same answer as the last one. It's not that people would then sell DEC when DEC has already depegged. They would go redeem it for items, right? For things in the game. Hopefully things that are, where we burn DEC, right? Like guilds or land, it gets locked up there. But even still, right? It would be like cheap DEC for land at that point. My fear is more so any kind of packs or other products that are for sale where the DEC gets recirculated back into the ecosystem, aka Rebellion packs, because then that devalues Rebellion packs and it depegs DEC, both of which are not great. Okay, so this is on my video, earning over $120 per month playing Splinterlands. Firebolt says, there you go. Now we're getting somewhere. After Sound is back. This is your bread and butter. All right, well, I appreciate that. I mean, I think we should be talking about the earnings because there's no other game. Well, okay, let me be very clear. I think Splinterlands has been doing it and doing it well. The only problem is that there's just not much focus on it, and the token values keep declining. But if we can get more people in, get more demand for SPS, and start that life spiral, right? Because sure, Splinterlands is not the only one doing it. Now I see Parallel doing it. Parallel is doing it quite well, but you're still limited, right? You can only earn on 5 games in parallel, whereas here you have 24 energy per day, and you can buy more energy. And if the economics make sense, then we've seen many people do that. Okay, back to the chat with Dave McCoy. Pops Fishing says, well, if whales dump, then it's their loss because after that dump, SPS is going to pump way beyond just $1. And when that happens, we get more players just because the player earnings have changed radically. The higher SPS gets, the more you want to play and get into the game. I mean, I agree. Then the opposite will apply when this all comes down. So I agree. I think we will hit a life spiral at some point. I'm hopeful that we will hit a life spiral at some point where the price of SPS keeps going up, therefore attracts people who buy SPS and want to earn more SPS at higher levels, thinking that it's going to continue going. And that's only going to happen in the throes of a euphoric bull run. But once it's done, Pops, you called it right again, it's all going to come back down, right? And it's going to crash down even harder, which is why I'm saying, whatever the DEC overhang is for the next bear market is going to determine how bad of a bear market it is. All right, so John says, thank you for the conversation. Listen to the whole thing. Hopefully it's one step forward. Also, shout out to the username. Okay, Punk commenting on the earning 120 on Splinterlands. I'm making about $600. Wow, if you include potion value, that's giving no value to those soulbound cards, though. I do buy a bunch of energy also. Interesting. So, Punk, I would actually be very curious to know, like, what's your kind of like ROI on this? You're buying a lot of energy, but you're also earning $600 a month? That's impressive. Well done. See, those are the kind of stories that I want to share because, I mean, $600 a month times 12, that's like $7,000, right? Over $7,000. All right, so Christopher on the chat I had with Nick Plays Crypto. A lot of good points. This is why I don't agree that we should just be paying out all of our stable coins to the team and then trying to trade them back at some arbitrary day in the future, especially when money we're getting back in is DEC, which will not go up and should probably be burned anyway. I like the idea of setting up a bot to sell little bits because if SPS does go up, no one is going to want to sell the top. We should be DCAing at the same time if that proposal passed. Okay, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I thought that was a great idea from Nick. It looks like you agree, Christopher, that we should have some kind of bot there because, again, this is something where I agree we should preset the rules for the DAO. We should be determining this now. And maybe, people are going to laugh at it because they're like, oh, this is so premature. You guys are too bullish. Like, you guys are delusional. If you're saying, sell this much SPS at 50 cents, sell this much SPS, whatever. I mean, yeah, we are artificially creating our own sell walls, but the DAO should be doing something so that when we do have some kind of momentum, we don't stop dead in our tracks. And it's just like, okay, is this a good time to sell? Like, somebody put forth a proposal, and now the entire community has 14 days to front run it. Okay, so Marco for the Should the DAO Hire Devs video says, it makes sense to use money bought by the node sales to make node licenses go live. At the same time, it's strange because it's something that was promised. I agree, but it's a solution to a problem. I mean, that's where I was coming from. If the money's sitting there already in SPS because it came in, we should put that to some work rather than it just sitting there doing nothing. All right, so Bitcoin SIG for the DAO thing, DAO hiring developers upvote. The DAO should have always been in charge of SPS chains development. That's the purpose of the DAO. Wolfshire just says no, period. If you'd like to elaborate, that'd be great. Gregago says you can just hire people and tell them to build out the validated node infrastructure. I imagine it doesn't work like that. Or you can't just hire people. I imagine it doesn't work like that. This will have to be in conjunction with the team, I imagine. I mean, they're going to have to work very closely. So it would probably be a situation where like it's an employee of the DAO, but like contracted to the team or something. DJ, shout out to DJ responding here. I imagine Matt moving 2 of his best developers onto this project to finish it, then hire 2 other developers to continue working on NPE. We can't have people creating the code for our chain. We can't have new people creating the code for our chain. That'd be interesting. If the DAO is hiring people to finish it, though, DJ, I would want them working on that. I guess unless it's stipulated otherwise. But whatever. I'll leave it to the team and the DAO's decisions. All right, so Johnny Sniffles, not a good idea for the DAO to hire devs. This is what was planned with the DAO earnings from validators. Remaining 20% of the SPS token will be put in the SPS Foundation and has been reserved specifically to be used to continue to incentivize SPS validator node operation when the 3 billion token cap is reached after roughly 5 years. Okay, well, I mean, we've pivoted on so many other things. So if we players are now paying the team with these funds, we are punishing everyone who put dollars into validators. They said that. Okay. Yeah. The thing is, Matt wanted to. So here's the thing. And I don't mean to throw shade on the proposal from DJ. Like, it's fine. And I think I voted for it because I just want to see what that conversation looks like. But, or voted in the pre-proposal because I want to see what the conversation looks like. Matt said he wants to get this done no matter what, which means he already has some kind of idea on how to, allocate team resources. So maybe it doesn't need to be the DAO hiring two developers specifically. I wonder if there's other ways in which the DAO could actually approach this. I know DJ's already talking to Matt, and it sounds like Matt is on board with this. But I don't know. I agree, Johnny, that we seemed like we were very close to it, but it's also like we're waiting on GLS to do theirs first. So I don't know. Okay, going back to the chat with Dave McCoy, Phoenix says some really strong points here, but I'm not sure I get why people would turn so much SPS into DEC if SPS pumps. You even touched on the fact that the value DEC could drop massively in this scenario, but your argument is that if SPS was selling $1, you would feel best course of action to exchange and mass your $1 token for $9.75. Well, okay, I think a lot of people are coming back with the same response. Again, my only response to this is the fact that people who want more stuff in the game would burn SPS for DEC. And they would do it because they recognize that there's, if they don't want to worry about, like, they already value the DEC and they know that the team values the DEC at peg. So they don't worry about DEC depegging and they don't worry about the massive sell-off that would happen in SPS. So that's how I can see that going, right? And I think Dave was just trying to give himself an example saying, like, he needs millions of more DEC. And he would, if SPS pumped, he would immediately burn. And I think what he was trying to convey is the fact that he's had conversations with many other whales in the ecosystem that would do the same thing. And so maybe we end up with an oversupply, maybe we don't, but I think we just have to consider what he's saying. Is all. Okay. Should the DAO hire devs? Phoenix once again. Unless my old brain is remembering things that didn't happen, wasn't there Old Town Halls where they said the validators were either in close or to internal testing, which would suggest the most finish line? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're right there, but I don't know. It seems like people are already in favor of hiring more devs. I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. Man, but there's not a town hall this week, so that kind of throws things off a little bit because it's only a 14-day period. Okay. Chat with Dave. Okay, so Dave is such a nice guy, nice and well-meaning guy, but he doesn't realize his fellow Mavs have been motivated by greed and slowly killing this game the whole time. Mavs have such a large voice in this game was awful. I mean, I'm sure, and see, Free says he realizes that a lot of people are blinded by the fact that he is part of the club that is doing this for their own interests. I wonder what club you guys are talking about. He is best friends with all the mega whales that control the game and Hive blockchain. Don't fall for his nice guy image. It's manufactured to trick you. You know what? I don't think I'm going to tolerate that Dave slander. I mean, Dave seems like a genuine guy. He's there and active and putting his name and reputation, everything on the line to always try and help solve problems. So I'm not trying to, attack you in any way. Free shit, but a nice username, by the way. I guess it tracks. But Dave's in there. Dave is in the trenches trying to get stuff done. Do I always agree with him? No. Do people need to agree with him? No. But I don't believe he's arguing in bad faith in any way. Okay, so should the DAO hire devs for validators? So Andrew says, seriously, the team or the bloody DAO manager should just contact Binance for its latest financial and technical requirements. Why spend the money and guess what Binance wants? This is actually a great point. I mean, we should know exactly what they want. My guess is that Clayboy does know, but cannot reveal it, at least, with the whole NDA thing. So I think if we were to actually go for it properly, I trust Clayboy and his expertise in that thing. All right, so Nicola says, dudes are insane. To be honest, I don't know where they spent millions of dollars players left them for all kind of products. Like people in previous comments, I remember the licenses were almost complete when they started to sell them. Also, I remember that Rebellion was almost done and needed some adjustments around Las Vegas event. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously things went slower Um, I'm trying to think through okay. Well, if you're talking about what they spent money on, I mean, look at all the new projects, whether it's Soul Keep, whether it's GLX, whether it's Arcade Colony. I'm sure a lot went there, which is what made a lot of Splinterlands OGs very upset, because they just wanted more focus, time, attention, and resources on the actual game itself. And I can understand that. Okay, so Victorial says, to me, it feels like we could find much more important things to support Accelerate with that money. All the updates recently were nothing else but another layer of staking mechanism with a fancy skin from the art team. I would not call it a game update at all. If I look at the front web page of Splinterlands, it reflects perfectly the core game mediocre. The core Splinterlands universe looks like a game from the early 2000s. The front website is cluttered and chaotic. If a new player comes in, they will see the website first. Maybe they'll try the game. Okay, so I would love to know, what are the other things that you think we could add value to? There will be no mass user acquisition without it, other than niche crypto enthusiasts. I actually agree with that. I don't think we get mass adoption. I think we get a lot. I think we get a lot of other crypto enthusiasts, because that's what this is. It's a glorified DeFi platform in many ways. But there's a lot of people who like that, and there's a lot of people with money who like that. That could actually rocket this thing up the leaderboard on CoinMarketCap. Okay, should the DAO hire devs from John Wick? Aftersound, if you don't do it this way, it will never get done. But I understand how it doesn't make you feel good, because there were promises already made. But this time, if this passes, they will have to pay back $175K. Yeah, again, I mean, I think there's some safeguards in there. So I don't know. At this point, like I told you guys, there's so much stuff going on with the DAO, and I don't want this to be taken any other way than it is. Like I'm just over it. Like, I'm still enjoying the game and I still play, but like the politics of the DAO has become so dull to me that I'm sorry. I just don't want to spend my time with it. I would much rather, and yes, this is throwing shade, I would much rather spend it playing other games, which I have been, right? So that's just what it is. So it's not throwing shade at the game. It's just at the situation. Like, it's just, there's so many voices, and yeah, maybe you guys expect me to be the one to parse through them, but that just gives me all kinds of stress, and it's not. I don't know that it's super productive. Plus, we hired Claiborne to help parse through it, so it's his job. He can do it. I just want to have fun playing games. That's all. Have fun playing games and hanging out with you guys. All right, so BC says, voting yes, but would love to see the option to purchase in BTC. Oh, this is for the promo card event. Okay. Purchase in BTC. If the cards are bought with BTC, then DAO gets BTC. If bought with DEC vouchers, then burn tokens. That would be interesting. I mean, I don't think it'd be a bad thing for the DAO to get some BTC, but it would kind of go against the whole, product backed stablecoin. Because at that point, I'd be like, well, the DAO could just accept like USDC at that point. But then there goes our stablecoin, our product backed stablecoin. I really, see, this is just me thinking once again, we really just don't need DEZ. I'm sorry. Okay, so promo card, burn event. Bitcoin saying, yeah, it seems clear that they already developed the card and art, so putting the stipulation that they will move forward no matter the vote seems like a good idea. I agree. I think at this point in the cycle, there's really nothing in the pipeline that will raise the price of SPS, and that's a problem when people are looking at CoinMarketCap for diversity and seeing a falling token. We should be capitalizing as much as we can on the bull run with our flywheel mechanics to shine as a competitive game token. I agree. I think the only thing that will get people into this game is number go up. I think what the team is focusing on is what will keep people in this game, and having a solid player experience is a big part of that. So SS says, I'd like to see chances to win promo cards by burning old cards as part of this. Well, that would have been part of the burn event, but people turned that down. But I guess the old burn event did not have promo cards attached to it. All right, seems like Sorry I Smurf is in favor of the burn event. Mondro says, need to think about it more, but so far leaning towards voting yes. Burning DEC is great, but also need to preserve DAO funds for Binance, so I'm torn. For all the people who are like having an existential crisis about Splinterlands, saying the game is dead, blah, blah, blah. I mean, why are you so worried about the DAO extending its funds to try to save the game, right? Like, if we need to pay to get on Binance, if we need to pay to get the team to help burn and add value. Like, these are all the things that we should be doing. Now, granted, if you have another idea, that's fine, and you want to vote this down, but let me know what that other idea is. So Oscu says they could leave the prices out. They just create inflation of cards, devaluing them. Otherwise, really good. I agree. That leaderboard at the end seemed a little unnecessary, but I think they're just trying to do something different. 200K for a promo card isn't 2K enough, says Jason. That's what they're asking for. I don't know. I'm not doing any budget planning for the team. So Oscar says, I'd love to see the option to buy with credits as well. See, that's the thing with credits though. Well, okay. So Jai actually has a solution here to what my problem was. If you buy with credits, then the team can burn DEC to match the purchase, which gives the team dollars and we still burn DEC. Yeah. I mean, that would be fantastic. I wouldn't be opposed to that actually, because then I know we want a product back stablecoin, but you're kind of doing it indirectly in that way because the team is forced to buy it on our behalf with money that we give them. So, okay. Renee or Renera Base is voting no. Oh, T-Snacks. The top comments that was on the post in your video. Oh, very cool. All right. Well, thanks, T-Snacks. I don't know why you're voting no. I'll have to go back to and check your comment there. Rebellion costed 250K. 2 cards is 200K, says Nicola. Sweet vid. Thanks, RK. Okay, this is going back to the chat with Nick. Shout out to Infidel. What's going on, 12? All right, question. Does anyone have examples of how listing on Binance increased price in a sustainable way? I see a lot of people saying it will help, but I want past examples. I don't have any past examples. I know that exchanges tend to be pump and dump, so that's my expectation. The only, the kind of like side benefit silver lining that I would see from this is if the token is available and we do start to pop off, it does make on-ramps and onboarding much easier in a way. So, the listing itself and the hoopla around the listing is always going to be a pump and dump type scenario. I think we've seen that with pretty much every token that has done that. But at least in the long run, if it's there, right? And this is why, like, had we done this last year, when prices were lower, it might have made more sense because then like we would have gotten the pump and dump out of the way. And now it's like, hey, games are starting to take off. What other games are out there? Oh, okay. Let's see what's on Binance, or let's see what's on Coinbase. Let's see what's on these exchanges. Well, I guess specifically Binance. Let's see what's on Binance. If that killer whales thing ever had taken off, then how would people know where to, or like, I mean, I guess sure they can all go through DeFi, but Binance just makes it a lot easier. And it shows a level of legitimacy, which I very much think we need. Everybody here is like, oh yeah, Splinterlands has been around for 6 years almost. And, they have longevity and all that. And I mean, I get it. We're here, so we see it. We see the team week in and week out, and we have a lot of trust and confidence in them. But for most other people, longevity doesn't matter. Longevity can be faked, right? So I do believe that there is some legitimacy to being listed on a major exchange, because even if major exchanges are doing it only for the money, there's at least some kind of comfort level that, hey, they're not going to list like really stupid projects and rug pulls, are they? They had to do some due diligence, and people are lazy. People are so lazy that they will take a major exchange, which may not even do due diligence, but just accept at face value that they've done it. Okay, Icy Flow says, I don't agree with Dave on this. Death Spiral is not possible from the listing. SPS has no leverage trading. Like others have pointed out, you can't take the price if you don't already hold SPS. A listing would boost speculation, not cause people to sell just before. SPS going to $1 and over minting DEC is no flaw of the listing. It's a flaw of the flywheel. Correct. This is why having is necessary for SPS. SPS price will forever be capped without a huge reduction in emissions. I think SPS price will also be forever capped if we don't take care of how much is currently out there. All right, so Chris, going back to the burn event, Christopher, I really wish they'd avoid all this and just burn anything over 200K that they take in. I don't like spending all the non-SPL assets from the DAO. There's no mechanism to replenish it. This is actually a fantastic idea. I remember reading this when you posted it. So what Chris is saying here is the team should just charge money and make it, right? Rather than taking money out of the DAO, if they want to like have it provide value, don't take the money out of the DAO. Just say, hey, the team is trying to raise 200K. Anything over 200K gets burned, right? So it's like, okay, the team gets their money and we burn stuff and the DAO keeps its value. Now, how much we burn, I don't know how much, people are willing to spend over 200K, but it's not a bad idea. And maybe for the future, this is something that they can implement. Chris also says, I'm also really disappointed that burning cards isn't part of this. It needs to be. Players are quitting because there's no use for cards. Additionally, most players will not participate in this because most players aren't buying $3 plus rare cards. I'll vote for it because yay, let's burn stuff. But I think it's weak and won't push the needle. It could have been awesome. Well, to your point, Chris, there was a time before this proposal came out and after the last proposal came out and failed that I thought we would get something that was like a massive burn event for the halving, which included cards. But then the whole card thing was taken out. So I don't know. All right. So did you notice people aren't taking SPS? Oh, okay. We finally moved on to a new video. So Kevin says there is an increase in cards being bought. Fewer are upgrading cards as there are much less cards about Rebellion legendaries. Okay. Well, that's a good sign. Promo card. All right. So voting yes says Crypto Beaver. Burning SPS, DECB, and vouchers makes sense. It helps the entire community with the 2 promo cards available. Yeah. So my question is, are people going to be buying these promo cards? You know me, I haven't spent on anything significant. I did just max out my final rare summoner. So I got Obsidian maxed out. So all my rare Chaos Agent summoners are done. Now I need to focus on a couple legendaries. But outside of that, I didn't buy Zerial. I guess the last one that I bought was bought it straight up was Lux Vega. That was a year and a half ago. But I bought enough Rebellion packs to be able to get a couple of the new promo cards. So I guess that doesn't really count. And I don't even have them maxed. Okay, so should the DAO hire devs? Chris is saying, good points about the fact that the DAO made that money from no license sales already. I hate that it's going to be more SPL assets coming from the DAO to pay for it, though. We need to recognize that value in the DAO is mostly inaccessible unless Splinterlands hits its own bull market. Until then, those stable coins are all that we have. I agree. All right, Tales from the Cryptmancer. All right, so, well, at this rate, the DAO stable proposals we'll all have something else to do by this time next year, as the DAO will be bankrupt, and we want to submit a proposal to buy us land 2.0, 3.0, Rooney combining. Oh man, Tails is just adding the salt in. It's so delicious. All these things we were promised: boss monsters, guild alliances. Oh, that's where my heart hurts. Yeah, Tails. I mean, you're right. This should have been done, and it wasn't. And I think the only reason people are jumping on it now is because they feel it is a stumbling block to a major listing, right? A major exchange listing. Although, I don't think that Matt meant to mislead anyone by it, but I also don't believe it needs to be done, right? He was saying that it needs to be done, and then I remember somebody asked him, how come all these other games don't need it? If you go back to the last town hall, somebody later on asked him, well, like, why don't these other games need it if it's like so important to be decentralized? And he's just like, they have money. so it's like, wait, do we have money, right? Does the DAO have money? Do we need to do this whole song and dance of like finishing the validators? Can't that be done at a later time? If the DAO has money and can pay for it, why don't we just do that? Why are we adding intermediate steps in to like, okay, the DAO helps the team hire some people and then they work on it and then they finish this and then we still need to pay Binance, right? So I don't know. To me, it just doesn't seem necessary. But that's just my thought. And yes, I still voted yes for it, but I don't know. That's just where my head is at too. All right. So Erroneous says the most important thing we have to do for the DAO above all other things. So Erroneous is very much behind it. Icy Flow says, do we really need to reinvent the wheel of validators? Can't we just copy a good layer 2 chain and use that? You would think so. But I think Hive is also very different and we don't have any other layer 2s on chain similar to Hive that we can just copy. But it's a good thought. I just don't know of any other ones unless somebody's built one on like Steam, for example. So Bananas literally LOL'd at the 200K thing. Tick 5000 says, make a short out of this. Explain it in 20 seconds. That's not a bad idea. That might get more people in. So I will see if I can do that. That's a lot of effort though. Actually, you know what? I did make on OBS here on which I record, I did make a way that I can record vertical video. So we'll try to do that. That's not a bad idea. Okay, man, we are still 6 days. Okay, so let me just do a couple more until we get 5 days away. And then I'll try to do another video very soon to catch up. But hopefully you guys are still enjoying this. Like I said, I appreciate you guys leaving the comments and we'll continue to answer them as best as I can. So promo card event. Joffrey says, bro, what about giving these Rooney holders or land holders or node holders Another cash grab with a slap in the face to long-term investors. I'm done investing. Matt owes the community something. Also, Joffrey from 6 days ago. Okay, this will be the last one. After sound, how much is your card investment? And on top of that, how much dollars do you have in SPS tokens staked? Just curious, since you say you're making so much. My card investment, if you go to my card collection, actually, you wouldn't be able to see it. My deck, right? So if you go to Peak Monsters, you can see my collection. It's available for anybody to see. But when I filter to specifically my deck, it's like between 2 to 3K, depending on how the market is doing. And then, I'm sitting at a little over like 250K SPS. So whatever that value is at right now, obviously that's fluctuating as well. That's where I'm at. So do you need to actually buy all of that? I don't think so. And actually, one of the experiments that I want to run is if I were just to rent everything that I have, or rent enough to get to the level that I want to be at, including SPS, how much would that cost me per month? And would it be under $120, right? Or maybe even like way less than that, because you can earn more from doing tournaments and all that. So that's just where my head is at on that. Hopefully that answered your question. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Trying not to let these run on too long. But again, appreciate you guys leaving comments. And I hope you guys are still enjoying this format. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.